This is Jan Ryberg with StrumHum.com with our weekly live lesson, Sunday nights at 5:30. Today we're going to learn, as always, new right-hand technique, new left-hand technique, proceed in the Christopher Parkening book with some drill, and a lot of this drill is meant to be played along with so that you get that same drill at the same time that I'm doing it. So it's a little bit of a longer lesson because you're supposed to be practicing along. And then we'll also learn a new rock riff. Let's start out with some technique review. Again, we're sitting with our left foot raised up, guitar on the left leg, body of the guitar dropped down, arm over the top, knuckles more or less parallel, soft arch to the wrist, thumb is out to the left of the fingers. Let's plant your fingers on the top 4 strings, thumb on 4, index 3, middle 2, ring finger 1. We've done the circle pattern, which we call this arpeggio. 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. We move our thumb down to the different bass notes. Good. Then we did the block chord. So we're playing all 4 strings at once. Really exaggerate that thumb out of the way of the index finger. Wrist has enough arch to it that the fingers can pluck back towards the palm of the hand and only be moving in one direction. You don't want this happening. So enough arch to the wrist, enough feel that you're underneath those strings. The hand doesn't have to pop away from the strings. The fingers don't have to do any 2 directions in their follow through. Just right back towards the palm of the hand. We move that thumb down to the different bass notes. Just the same as the circle pattern. These 2 exercises, the circle pattern and the block chord, will do more for really establishing your comfort for the right hand, some orientation for the right hand. The thing that we want to do as beginners mostly is either this, get some stability by dropping our wrist, or this, get some stability by putting your finger on the top of the guitar. We don't want to do either in classical guitar. Our new right hand exercise is also based on this position, so keep your fingers planted on the top 3 strings, index 3, middle 2, ring finger 1, thumb on the 6th string, and we're going to do what I call the roll arpeggio. The thumb plays the 6th string rest stroke, 5th string rest stroke. Remember, rest stroke is where we play, and then we're resting against the adjacent string after we play. 4th string is not a rest stroke. The thumb plays 4th string and is not touching the 3rd. It's floating free. Fingers are still planted, and we peel them off 1 finger at a time. Plant those down again. Thumb plays 6th string rest stroke, 5th string rest stroke, 4th string free stroke. Fingers are still planted, index, middle, ring. Put them on again. Let's gradually try and speed that up. Not much, just get comfortable with it. Plant, rest stroke, free, 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 free. Plant, rest stroke, free, 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 free. Alright, this eventually turns into that. A nice controlled strum sound with all your fingers. It's got more control than a strum. You've got more control over the tone than a strum. It's the same basic harp-like effect. So those are our 3 main right-hand position finding exercises. Circle, block chord, and roll. Later on we'll talk about fingernails and classical guitar, When you start using your thumbnail, the right hand position slightly changes, and we'll talk about that when we get into our nail lesson. Left hand, we've been doing our chromatic scale, adding in different patterns with the right hand, mainly just going back and forth, index and middle, doing rest stroke, and getting a number of different plucks on each fret. Let's just warm up with 4 plucks per fret. First string, first fret, fingers are curved, up on their tips, thumb stays behind the neck, more or less always pointing up, more or less behind that middle finger. Alright, 4 plucks per fret. Ready, and first fret, second fret, third fret, fourth fret, shift, fifth fret, index finger. Keep the fingers close to the fingerboard. Try not to let them splay out away from the fingerboard. 11 and 12. And we can come down. We won't do descending in this lesson, but you sure can when you're on your own. Let's do second string. Let's do that shave and a haircut rhythm. Ba ba da 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 da. First fret, second string. Ready, and ba 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 ba. Second, third, fourth, shift, fifth fret, sixth, 7, 8, shift, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Good. Third string. Now we're going to make up different rhythms for each fret, but we're still going to play 4 beats. What that means is that's our set 4 beats, but I can fill those 4 beats with any rhythm I want. That was quarter notes, 1 note per beat. Now we're just going to jam out, improvise a little bit. Anything you want to do. If you're a total beginner, just stick with quarter notes, 1 pluck per beat. A little more experienced player, do whatever is comfortable that you can make a nice clean sound with and that you're not getting all tight. Try and stay relaxed, but have some fun creating some rhythms. Here we go. Third string, first fret. Ready, go. First fret. Second fret. 2, 3, 4. Third fret. Fourth fret. Shift, fifth fret. 6, 7, 8. Shift, 9. 11, it's a real good way to keep the practicing interesting while you're still paying good attention to hand position, but you can jam a little bit, you can improvise a little bit. Always, the main rule, if you're bored with your practicing, you're doing something wrong. Alright, so let's get into our parkening book now. We've done the 2 lessons on the first and second string. Page 28 were the notes on the first string, E, F, and G. Page 30, 3 notes on the second string, B, C, and D. And then this week we're going to start the notes on the third string. And in the parkening book, they give you G and A. Just 2 notes. So that's pretty easy to get a handle on. So let's start off. As always, get the muscle memory of the left hand down. So the G, third string, open, is the next to the bottom line of the staff. The A 3rd string 2nd fret, 2nd finger, don't use your 1st finger, use 2nd finger. That's the next to the bottom space on the staff. Now don't worry about playing the notes yet, just go back and forth between G and A. Again, improvise rhythm. There's many different ways of going between those two notes as you can think of. Okay, pretty quickly that left hand's going to get the hang of just 2 notes. Right hand, now index and middle. If you weren't doing it, get index and middle alternating. We want to get that independence. So no matter what the left hand is doing, the right hand can do index and middle and later on other patterns. Okay, after you've done that a while and you're really confident in where that 2nd fret is, how it feels, how it sounds, then start reading notes. There's no reason to be reading notes if you don't know what you're looking for by sound and feel. So study 16 is super easy. When you have a study with just 2 notes, it's almost not worth doing, but we're going to do this one. And you'll see that you won't have any trouble with it. Just it's either open G or 2nd fret A. So here's study 16. 2, 3, play. G, 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 open G, 2nd fret A. For those, G, A, G, A, G. Repeat it. 4 G's, quarter notes. 4 A's, quarter notes. 3, 4, G, A, G, A, G. Good. Now we're going to sing it. Remember, number one most important thing to do after you've gotten the muscle memory of an exercise or a song, get your voice wrapped around it. So now we're going to sing G and A as we play them. Ready, go. G, 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 A, G, A, G, G. Let's do it again. G, G, make sure you're singing. G, A. Doesn't have to be loud, but you need to match that pitch with your voice. A, G. All right. Now the next piece in this on this page 33 is Spanish melody, and you people in my class at Tarrant County in Richland, this is going to be this week's test, and this is a great little piece because it shows you a lot about drone or a repeated note, and the repeated note or the drone in this piece is the E. If you look at every other note, it's an open 1st string E, top space. So you got to have the song memorized because every other note is that open E. The first note of each pair of 8th notes, that's the changing note, that's the melody. And that note is going to be played with the thumb all the way through. Even when you're up there on the 2nd string, the thumb is playing that bass-line melody note. So again, let's get the muscle memory for this piece before we start reading it. I want you to play the 2nd string with the thumb and then alternate with either index, middle, or even ring finger. I don't care which finger you use for that repeated E or that drone. I like to use the middle finger, but any finger will work. You advanced people, if you want to alternate between different fingers for the drone, that's fine too. So you do that a while, that'll feel pretty natural. Now move the thumb over to the 3rd string, back and forth. That probably feels pretty natural by now. Now go back and forth between the 2nd string and the 3rd string. Any order you want. Any repetition pattern. By now, your right hand muscle memory is pretty much there. Left hand, we're going to deal with 5 different pitches. It's either 3rd string open G, one of our new notes, third string, second fret A, or open second string B from last week, C, second string first fret, D, second string third fret. So first thing you do, get your left hand muscle memory on that. And I want you to play those 5 notes over and over again, any order. G, second fret A, second string open B, second string first fret C, second string third fret D. Now play these with your thumb, because you're going to be playing that bass line melody with your thumb. Again, any order you want, make it interesting. All right. Now we're going to do a little bit of cycle practice like we do each week on each one of those muscle memory combinations. So we're going to start out with the third string open, and the first string open is your drone or your repeated note. Do that a while. That combination happens. Now go to the second fret A. Feels pretty comfortable. Go to the second string open B. Second string first fret C. Second string third fret D. Okay, those are the only possibilities in the song. It's one of those 5. So now, just again, improvise. Go around between those different possible pitches. Get the muscle memory of the left hand and the right hand pretty strong, so you don't have to be looking back and forth at right hand, left hand, or at the music. You got to keep your eyes on the music when you're first studying these pieces. Good. After a little bit of improvisation like that, we're ready to tackle the piece. Now, we're not going to sight read straight through it. Again, people that have played guitar before and have read notes before, you might be able to, but remember, we're on a beginner pace here. So we're going to take each combination and just sit on it a while. So the first pair of eighth notes is A and E. So we do cycle practice on that one beat, that one pattern. Then we go to the next pair, which is an open B. Second string open. C, second string first fret. D, second string third fret. And the song turns right back around, back to the C, second string first fret. Open B, second string open. And right back where you started, A, third string second fret. Down to G, third string open. Now we've gone through every note. Goes back to A, third string second fret. Now we're on the last measure of the study of the first line. Jumps up to C, second string first fret. Open B, open second string, and then down to G, third string open. That's our first line. Second line starts out the same. We won't drill quite so much on it because it's exactly the same. A, third string, second fret. We're on the second line, first pattern. Next beat, B. Next beat, C. Second string, first fret. D, second string, third fret. Just like the first line, comes back down to C, second string, first fret. Open B, second string open. Back to where you started, A, third string, second fret. Now we're in the next to last measure. Goes up to B, second string open. And G, third string open. And finally A. Okay, this song is fairly easy to learn if you take these steps. Get your muscle memory down, then cycle practice on a small little segment of the piece. Now we're going to try and go straight through the song very slowly. Then I'm going to talk about some other practicing methods and theory about this drone. So here we go. We're going to try and read straight through the song very slow. 1 and 2 and 3, play. A, open B, C 1st fret, D 3rd fret, turn right around, come back down, C, open B, A, open G, back to A, over to C, open B, 3rd string open G, 2nd line, A, open B, C, D, C, open B, A, open B, G, and A. Alright, now I'm going to play straight through at a little bit steadier tempo, adding in some dynamics, a little bit of rubato, and you're going to be able to tell this is a nice little piece. Now, a couple of interesting things about drone. The drone, or the repeated note, or the pedal tone, it organizes the melody notes in your ear so that you can almost play notes in any order, and that drone will help make sense of it. I'm just going to improvise around in this style. Forever and play those 5 notes in any order, and it's going to work. Also, you could play almost any note in any key, jumping from key to key, playing chromatically, and that drone helps organize it in your head. I'm going to play all 12 tones of the chromatic scale with this open E drone, and it's more or less still going to make sense. It's going to sound a little weird, but it's going to show you, hey, this is a great way to improvise, a great way to have fun on the instrument. Practice this technique of thumb, finger drone, but not have to play the same thing over and over again. Sounds a little bit odd, but it's still fun, and the drone helps to organize that into a somewhat cohesive sounding song, even though it's very chromatic and almost atonal. Alright, another thing I want to get into with these exercises now is you advanced players that still are maybe just learning your notes for the first time, but you've been playing a long time. You can take these exercises that we're doing, and while we're doing this very repetitive repetition and you're getting bored, a great thing to do is take all these exercises up the neck. And you can play those 3 notes here on the A string. You can, on the first exercises where we're playing the E, you can take them up here to the 2nd string, 3rd string. So anytime you get a little bored and you're an advanced player, push those notes up the neck. Now let me show you how to find those notes. It's a very simple rule. Let's say we're playing an F. Play 1st string, 1st fret F. If I want to find that note on the 2nd string, I go over to the 2nd string, also 1st fret, and I count up 5. Or I just add 1 plus 5 will give me 6. Every time. That works. If I'm at the 5th fret and I want to find the note on the next string, just add 5 to it. 10. there's that same note. If I'm on D, 10th fret, and I want the D on the second string, there it is at 15. Just add 5. Now that works everywhere except, as some of you may have guessed, between these two strings. The second string to the third string. That is a third. We'll talk about that more in later theory classes. But basically you just, instead of going up 5, you go up 4. So if I'm on the second string, first fret, I go to the third string, and I count up 4. Or I add 1 plus 4, and that'll give me 5. If I'm on the 5th fret, second string, and I want to find that note on the third string, 5 plus 4, 9. Very easy to find your notes up the neck. So any exercise that you're doing in this book and you start to get bored, put those notes somewhere else. Then you're learning your entire fingerboard in one semester. All right. Okay, it's time to go to our rock riff. We've done Bad to the Bone. We've done Smoke on the Water. And we've done Peter Gunn. All really nice one-string riffs. And we'll do a few other one-string riffs. The one-string riff is good because you can immediately move it around the neck like we did last week and have a lot of fun playing the same pattern, same shape, but getting brand new sounds. We're going to do a two-string riff this time. It's that big hit Mission Impossible. So this is a nice riff. It's taking us into a new realm because we're not using any open strings. When we don't use any open strings, it's harder in one way, but much easier to manipulate that riff in another way. So let's learn this pattern. 6th string, 5th fret. Use your third finger on that note. You're going to play that twice. 5, 5. Then you go to the next string, 5th string, 3rd fret. Play that with the index finger. You're going to play that once. Then 5th string, 5th fret with the 3rd finger. And you're going to play that once. 5, 5, 3, 5. Okay? Now, this should look fairly familiar because we're using 3 and 5 again, which we've used in every song we've played so far. So, get a little bit of muscle memory work in. Go back and forth between 3 and 5. If you want to leave the index finger down when you're going between 3 and 5, that's fine. If that's too big of a stretch, pick it up. Right now, it doesn't really matter. Now, add that 6th string, 5th fret in. Improvise with that shape. Then, the second half of the riff, we start with 5 again. 5, 5 on the 6th string. And then we go over to the 6th string, 3rd, 6th string, 4th, and that leads us back. 5, 5, 3, 4. Let's do that a little bit. Back and forth between those 3 frets. Okay, now add in the notes on the 5th string. Any pattern you want. Get that muscle memory in. Alright, now here's the order again. I think you probably have the muscle memory down pretty well. 6th string, 5th fret, 2 times. 5th string, 3rd, once. 5th string, 5th, once. That's the first half of the riff. Second half. 6th string, 5th fret, twice. 6th string, 3rd fret, once. 4th fret, once. Then it starts over. 6th string 5, 6th string 5, 5th string 3rd, 5th string 5th, 6th string 5, 6th string 5, 6th string 3rd, 6th string 4th. Do it again. 6th string 5, 6th string 5, 5th string 3rd, 5th string 5th, 6th string 5, 6th string 5, 6th string 3rd, 6th string 4th. Right. now let's add some rhythm. I think you're getting close to that left hand pattern. Here's the rhythm. 5, 3, 5, 5, 5, 3, 4, 5, 5, 3, 5, 5, 5, 3, 4, 5, 5, 3, 5, 5, 5, 3, 4, 5, 5, 3, 5, 5, 5, 3, 4, 5. Great. Now, here's the great thing about learning a pattern without open strings. Now, I can move this anywhere on that 6th and 5th string. Keep the finger and the fret relationship the same. As the frets get tighter, you gotta make some adjustment. Your fingers don't have to move so far. It's always the same finger and fret relationship. Anywhere you want to go. Great exercise. Taking that shape, that pattern, moving it around on those 2 strings. Then you do crossovers, and we're going to be doing a lot of crossovers in more advanced lessons, but we're going to take that shape and we're going to move it to other strings. With our 1 string exercise, that is no big deal at all. Nothing changes. No change at all. With the 2, 3, or 4 string pattern or chord or scale, when we do a crossover, there is some change. Doesn't happen here yet. I'm going to start on the 5th string, 5th fret. Exactly the same. And I can go anywhere on this string. Now I'm going to cross over to the 4th string. Is this going to change? Nope. Go anywhere. Now I'm going to cross over to the 3rd string. I'm going to keep the pattern exactly the same, and you're going to hear something's not right. It's no longer a cool spy song. It's now a little happy children's song. So it changed the character of it completely. Here's the rule. When you take a pattern and you move from the 3rd string to the 2nd string, you adjust to the right 1 fret higher. So what used to be 3, 5 on the 2nd string, because of 2nd string adjustment, is now 4, 6. 3 and 5 over here doesn't change. So it starts out 3rd string, 5th fret. Then it goes to 2nd string 4, 2nd string 6, then back to 3rd string 5th. 5, 5, 4, 6. 5, 5, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 6. 5, 5, 4, 6. 5, 5, 4, 6. 5, 5, 3, 5, 5, 5, 4, 6. So that fixed the riff, made it totally consistent as we cross it over. Now, when we cross over to this 1st and 2nd string, it goes back to exactly the same pattern. Now later on, when we do more complicated crossovers, the only thing I'm going to want you to do when you do a crossover from the 3rd string starting on the 2nd string, I want that starting note to slide up a fret as well. And that's going to have more to do with staying in the circle of fifths, another more advanced theory lesson that we'll get into in Guitar Class 2. So, quick review of everything we've done that was new today. We added right hand technique, roll. Fingers are planted, thumb plays 6th rest, 5th rest, 4th free, index, middle, ring. rest stroke thumb, free stroke thumb. These guys are still planted, index, middle, right. With the chromatic scale this week, we started improvising rhythm. That gives you an opportunity to still pay attention to keeping a good left hand position, but you can improvise, keep it more interesting for yourself. Then in the book, on page 33 in the parketing book, we did Spanish melody, which was our first drone piece. We're going to be doing a lot with drone, or a repeated note that keeps coming back. We did Spanish melody. We used our same technique for learning a song. We get the muscle memory first, then we practice small little micro phrases, and then we string it together. We also learned that the drone can help organize any order of notes in the ear. And we're starting to also move up the neck with some of these notes. Our advanced players, if you want to find these notes of these exercises further up the neck, you can. That's one thing the guitar has over all the other instruments, are options. We've got options for every note, except for our very low notes and our very high notes. We've got at least 2 and sometimes 5 different places to play the exact same note. Those options give us a lot of differences in tone and expression, which, again, we'll get into at a later date. And then we did Mission Impossible. We moved it all over the neck, and we crossed it over, making that second string adjustment. When you cross over to the second string, you've got to move up 1 fret with whatever the pattern is. All right, and if there's any questions at this point, any chatted in questions, nothing this week. I can't wait for the day when we have chatted in questions. So you guys that are watching, think of some questions and we can deal with them, or you can even add requests for more advanced lessons, and we will get to them. All right, this is Jan Ryberg with StrumHum.com. We'll see you next Sunday, 5:30. Thanks a lot.